y'all. Welcome back to another episode of In the Kitchen with Baker Girl. Thank you, Jesus. It is another beautiful day to be in the kitchen, and today we're going to be making home churned cultured butter. Stay tuned. Now, I will be unboxing this package that literally just arrived. The delivery guy just dropped it off. So I'm gonna open this up and I'll show you what it is when I open it up. But before I do, don't forget to like this video and subscribe and share my channel with your friends and family if you enjoy getting free recipes, videos, and tips in your inbox weekly. Let's open it up. Okay, here it is. Okay, I don't hear anything. Let me set that down here. I don't hear anything, so that's a good sign. Okay, take there. Well wrapped. First, let me not be so impatient. Let me get the smaller things out first. So, ha-ha! Very excited. Okay, let me take out the rest. A spatula. Cute purple. I like that. And these are butter molds, which is really nice. And you can make your own sticks of butter. That's really nice. And I guess you can easily pop them out because it's silicone. Probably can also use it for lollipops too. Double duty. Okay, now let's take out, whoops. Oh. Okay, wow. It comes with a piece of cheesecloth. That's great. Okay, now we get to the good stuff. More plastic. Foam. Okay, and another piece of plastic. Aha! Okay. Out she comes. Ta-da! It's a butter churn. Now this is fancy and high-tech indeed. My. Now I am so excited to get to use one of these because my grandmothers used these. They also had the old-fashioned stone crock with the dasher in it. My great-grandmother used one of those as well. But I recently found out, my dad told me that my great-grandmother also had one of these. So when I heard, because at first I was like, this is nonsense. Like, she wouldn't have used anything like that. And Daddy told me, he said, actually, yes, she did. He said, she had one. He said, and we used to churn with it. So I'm assuming it was for maybe low yield cream days, and she didn't have enough cream for a giant churn. I don't know. But when I heard my great-grandmother use one of these, I'm like, well, it's okay then. I can use it. Now, the next question is, will this work as good as a KitchenAid? Because obviously this is a step up from the old-fashioned dash and churn and dasher. This was like high-tech modern for my great-grandmother. But is it as good as a KitchenAid in terms of the speed of whipping, making butter? We shall see. So that is what is coming up in today's video. Yep, y'all, you guessed it. We are making butter. So the first thing I'm going to do is get all of this equipment washed and completely sanitized. Very important whenever you're working with dairy or really any food, anything, any cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and get this washed up and sanitized. Be right back. Okay, y'all. So now I am going to divide this between my hand butter churn and my KitchenAid mixer bowl. And I'm going to use both today because, of course, I want to know which one works better. Now, I'm going to use a wooden spoon to scoop out the cream. I think that'll work better than using the spatula, although I like the idea of a purple spatula because that kind of helps me know that's dairy. Okay, so, oh, wow, look, ooh, my. Look at how thick that cream is. Like, that cream is not moving. And look, it's like, oh, I gotta show you this. It's like a thick tub of whipped cream. This is every dieter's dream. Okay, so I'm gonna divide my cultured cream in between my two containers. Whoops. And bring my KitchenAid bowl over. I'm trying to be very careful because both of these are glass and I don't want any catastrophes. Okay, and I'm just going to spoon the cream into my KitchenAid. Now, I'm using my large KitchenAid bowl for this, and I think I actually might be able to start pouring the cream at this point. Can I pour? Yeah, I think I can because I've got that very, very top off. So I think I can start pouring out some cream. I have, oh wow, that is just luxurious. Oh wow. Now I'm going to start the machine churned butter first. I do want to say, by the way, this is a little messy. So I'm wearing my, this is a wipeable apron. It's not made out of cloth because it's probably going to splash. So, also have my second camera set up over here so I can film the churning of the cream, the machine-based butter. But you use a balloon whisk and just add that to it. And I'm going to add my paddle shield to it. The machine butter is churning. So let's get going. Okay. Paddle on, and I'm going to set a timer. I want to see how long this takes. Keep going. I want to show you all really, really quickly what I mean. You can stop it. And I'll show you. It's starting to look like curdled cream. It's not really looking like anything you want to eat at this point. But just keep mixing. Keep your spatter shield on it or a towel or something so you don't get totally splashed all over the place with buttermilk. So now it just looks like over whipped cream, which is essentially what it is. And it should not be movable. Like, you should be able to turn your bowl and it shouldn't be doing anything. So in the stand mixer, just keep mixing. And stop it so you can see. If you notice, cream is flying all over the place, but you can see there's a lot of liquid down in there. And it's looking like curdled cream, which is essentially what it is. So just keep going until it turns into a solid mass. Now, one tip my dad gave me is your butter won't come if the cream is not cold. So Daddy knows. The butter won't come if the cream is not cold. So I've got some ice water here, and I'm just going to pour that right in my butter here in my machine stand mixer, and just keep mixing. And no, cold water won't hurt it. It won't hurt it, not one bit. It'll just separate out in the buttermilk. It won't hurt it. Okay. And keep churning. Okay. That. Oh, wow. My poor mixer looks awful. Okay. But guess what? Thank you, Jesus. We got butter. Oh, wow. I'm going to have to clean up that mess. Okay, first off, by cleaning off my poor shield. By the way, you can see how dirty this shield got. Well, I say how dirty, how spattered it got. So if you didn't have it on there, your towel would be soaked. And I did put a towel on there, but yeah, that's all. That's done for the day. Okay, but you can see how now you have grains of butter in there. And you also have buttermilk down in there too. And set that over there. And now just clean down the sides. My dad's tip for adding the cold water was spot on. Thank the Lord for bringing that back to his mind, because that's stuff that only days can teach. There's plenty of butter and buttermilk swimming around in here. So now we got to drain off the buttermilk. Don't throw it away, and wash the butter. And I'll do that next. Okay, so now it's time to drain off the buttermilk. A piece of cheesecloth, and I'm just going to pour all of this right in. Probably going to get splashed again. Yeah, that helps a little bit with the splashing. Just tip it all in. That's a lot of butter. And you do want to make sure that this stays cold, because it's easier to work with if it's cold. If it starts to heat up at any point, put it in the refrigerator. Okay, set that aside. Now you want to have a bowl of ice water ready, because you got to wash your butter. And you can do that with running cold sink water, but I have a bowl of ice water behind me. So just lift that up and give it a little twist and drain out the buttermilk. Now I didn't have to use the strainer because I put it in here, so you don't have to use the strainer. They come together, so I just automatically grab it, but you don't have to. Now, regardless of whatever, you do need to squeeze out all of this buttermilk. So just be quick and squeeze. So I'm just going to set that aside. Look at all. And I'm just going to unmold my ball of butter. Unmold my ball of butter and drop it right into that ice water. And just wash it. Just drop it right in there and wash your butter. What you're doing is you're literally washing the buttermilk out. You want to wash it a couple of times until the water turns clear. All right, and I'm going to transfer this ball of butter over to a new bowl. Set that one aside. And just keep pressing it until the water turns clear. Yay! Okay, now I've got my marble board here because I'm going to start to knead my butter. So take it out. You see how clear the water is compared to the first water. Now, enter those butter paddles. So now you can start to shake your butter. And this is cold because that water was very cold. But as it gets more pliable, right, you just knead the butter. Turn it this way. Smack, smack, smack. This just gives you an even lump of butter. You can tell I'm no expert, but there we are. And just do that all around. I'm gonna have such fun cleaning this kitchen after all this. Just keep going. Now you can see why our grandmothers wasn't fussy about eating butter. Because when you have to do this to get butter, you ain't worrying about those calories. You want those calories. You need those calories after all of this. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Thank you, Jesus. Look at there. A nice ball of butter. Well, actually, it's not a ball of butter. It's a block of butter. Woohoo! Now, if you wanted to make salted butter, you would, before I shaped it, you would just sprinkle on some salt and mix that in. But your butter does have to be pliable in order to mix in the salt. It can't be ice cold. But I'm an unsalted butter person. I never salt butter, so I never really use salted butter. So I am perfectly happy with leaving it unsalted. So my dad made a good point. He said, first of all, you have too much cream in this jar. So I actually took some of it out, transferred it to another mason jar because there is a third method for home churning butter. Now this one I'm more familiar with. And all you do is you put some cream in a jar and you shake it. Now this one I am far more familiar with because I've done this before. So I know how this goes. It usually takes about a couple of minutes. Well, no, more than a couple of minutes. It takes about maybe 10 minutes. But this is almost, this and the mixer is pretty much foolproof. This one I've never tried before, but doing this method I have. So I should be able to do both. Anyway, with this one, you just shake. Now here is the buttermilk. Look at all this buttermilk we got. All right, and I'm just going to pour this up in a jar. I would not dream of wasting an ounce of it. So actually, this will be a gift for my dad because this is what he used to drink as a boy. It smells good. I think I'm going to taste it. I think so. I am not a buttermilk drinking person, but I think I'll taste it just to see what it tastes like. Thank you, Jesus. Ooh! I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that. That's tangy. That's good. Now I'm just going to store my butter in a piece of brown paper. Just put it in like that and then fold it over. You can separate this, by the way, into smaller pieces. You don't need to have a whole block of butter. But I'm just going to tuck that in, and you can wrap a little string around it, and you've got butter ready for whenever you want to use it. Okay, y'all, so it's time for the honest review. Do I like the hand churn paddle, the hand churn paddle method better, or do I prefer the KitchenAid stand mixer, or do I prefer the shake? The answer is KitchenAid. I'm sorry, KitchenAid wins. Now, there are pros and cons to all three methods, and I'm going to give them to you now. Starting off with the KitchenAid. The pros to this one is this can go for 15 minutes, and it's like do it and forget it. It's doing, and you can listen, and then when you hear sloshing, something's happening. And also, it's much speedier because by hand it does take a little bit longer. A lot longer, in fact. But the cons about the KitchenAid is it is messy. So, and I've made butter with the KitchenAid before, so I knew it was messy. If you don't have one of these spatter shields, and I have another shield that's flat and it slides right into it and completely covers it. I should have used that, to be honest. If you have one, I would suggest you use it. But even with that, I still had to drape a towel over it. And even with that, I still have cream splashed on my walls and some counter surfaces, which I will be cleaning very soon. So that is the pros and the cons to the KitchenAid. Now, the pros to the hand crank paddle churn. The pros to this is it's very neat. It's very tidy. It's quiet. There is no messiness flying all over the kitchen. You know, there's no machines waking nobody up. You can churn butter in the middle of the night if you want to. Weird, but this is a lot neater, tidier, and more convenient. The cons about this is it takes a lot of time. And of course, you're sitting here like me, about to go, because you're churning. And another thing my dad pointed out, my dad is one of those. As a matter of fact, growing up, daddy them milked cows and they plowed with mules. So my dad knows a thing or two about this kind of stuff. And he told me, he said, first of all, you got too much cream in here. So I actually poured off some of the cream, and that's when I switched to the shake. Just kind of divided it between the two. However, if the cream goes up past the paddles, which is here, the paddles can't do anything. So you really can only add about that much to the jar in order for the paddles to work, because my daddy pointed out, he said, I think the paddles are too small. So that, he was right about that. And another thing, whether you're doing the shake method or this method, you may need to set this in a bowl of cold ice water or something like that, so that it doesn't start to heat up. So that is the cons about this. I overloaded at the first go round, so you can't put so much in it, and it does take about a decent 20 to 30 minutes of hand churning for me. Now, it may be slightly different for you. Now, with the shaking method, that is the one that I am more familiar with, even more so than the stand mixer. And that is perfect if you're making a small amount of whipped cream or a small amount of butter. The cons with that is it heats up faster because your hands are more in contact with the jar. So you might want to add a few ice cubes in there. Now, the pros to me about all of this, because you can easily say, well, why not just go to the store and buy some butter? Which, of course, we do. I mean, we all go to the store and buy butter, most of us. But the thing about it is, I was thinking while I was furiously shaking and churning by hand, my grandmother's never counted calories. When you're doing all of that, you don't need to count calories. As a matter of fact, you need those calories. So, I mean, I got a good workout according to my Apple Watch just by shaking and churning butter. So that's the cons to it. And I firmly believe in working over my food because, if I have to work over it, I'm burning off some calories, and therefore I can sit down and eat it with way more peace of mind than if I haven't, done anything all day. I'm speaking for myself. If I haven't done anything all day and then I sit down and eat, I don't know, something that's a little rich on the calories, you feel a little better if you've done a little bit of work. So I love food that I can work over. And doing this to me is like the ultimate working over my food. So that is my honest review on this hand crank. And it may work better for some people, but it didn't really work very well with me. But then again, that could be me not just having the patience or the experience to know not to overfill the jar. So maybe I'll, try it again with a smaller amount of cream and see if it works. But I think one with the metal paddle may work a little better than the plastic paddle. I don't know. That's just my thinking. But overall, today, I would say Miss Rachel of the KitchenAid wins the Battle of the Butter Churns. I hope you've enjoyed this butter episode. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And the good Lord willing, I'll see y'all in another video. Take care, y'all. Bye.